Right, this is the last race in the Zwift Racing League, and it's on the 27th of April 2026, and we're about 7:30 start at night. We race for the GCN team, Team 3 Conor, and we've got nearly everybody in tonight. The only person we're missing is Eric, who has had a bit of an incident, so he can't attend. It's a shame. We're on the double span spin course, which is essentially a lead in and then 2 climbs with sprint points, and it's a point race. We had a good chat before we've gone on, and we're just going to go for it and try and get as many points as we can. 4th place in the league at the moment, and we're hoping to stay in 4th place. So it's as you can see, the blue section in the map on the right hand side. It's like a drag in, and then the 2 laps of the 2 peaks on there. So feeling quite good. I think last week I finished 19th. I think 261 on the check. Finished 19th. I finished 16th. So I'm hoping to finish somewhere in the top 20. Let's say. I don't know where I actually finish, but I'm going to give it a good go. Try and sit in. So I put in a bit of an effort to get up the escalator and get away, not to break anybody up, but just to go in. From recollection, it went off quite hard, but then it settled down after the lead in a little bit. Obviously, we didn't know that while we were racing. So you can see there's a few of us in the group there. We've got Rafa, Andre be in the front group. I think we're all in the front group at the moment. This is the start of the climb. And though it's not massively big climb, it's quite draggy, and you can draft it, but it's difficult to do that, especially because the points are awarded at the sprint point at the top of it. So it is difficult because everybody's going for it, and you need to stay in the front of this group, because this is where the selections get made. As people get tired, they won't be able to continue after they've put in a bit of a sprint. So let's see where we get to. So yeah, I'm gassed going through the top of it, and maybe going up the escalator sprint so fast wasn't a good idea. Yes, also in there is William Kerr, Bill as we call him, and Alistair, who's in as well. Everybody seemed to do a bigger effort tonight, and we all stayed together a lot longer. Bear in mind that Alistair and Bill are actually DCAT riders, so they're riding up a category. They're getting stronger every week, so we're doing all right, and it's been a very enjoyable series. We've all loved it really. So here we are. We're on the first lap. You can see the lap banners on the top there, and I think I went through that line about 19th, 20th. So top half of the race in the top 20, which is where you want to be, and trying to like sit in as best we can and go for it. This is the second climb. It's it's draggy, so it's not as high a power, because when you're not on the hills, everybody's sort of sitting in and soft pedaling, for want of a better word. So my power is 2.8 at the moment, but I think that'll drop off 2.8 average. So I'm just trying to get a hang on where everybody's at and what we're doing. I've noticed a few of the people from last week. I recognise the kits. So, and I think there's a front group gone. You can see on the mini map there's a front group well gone. I think we all do come back together after this bit, but it's a bit of a false horizon really, because on the next one, probably the top 10, top 15, maybe top 12, they're just the edge of this category, so that it's practically impossible to try and stay with them unless they're having an off day. So I'm trying to surf the wheels, I reckon I recognise the name Bullock from last week, and then I just put a little surge and go across in, I think 14th place. And then it's a bit of a downhill now. You can see on the mini map it's a downhill. It's not very long though, and then it climbs up again. So we've got one extra rider there. So about 13th is front of our group, so there's 13 up the road. And I think here, oh well, we can actually catch them, so I'll put a bit of an effort in and ride with a few of the riders on the front to try and catch up the group. It'll be nice to catch them, although I don't think we do. So you go around that little bit of a corkscrew, and then it's onto the bridge, which again is the draggy climb. And again, it's just about putting out about as much watch as you can to keep with the group, but not too much that you burn a match or you blow your doors off. So sitting on the back's good, but it's so easy to get dropped. 2.8 watts per kilo. There's Andre and Rafa coming past me, so they're going to the front of this group. They've caught on this. They're both good. They're both, I'm going to say, decent climbers. I'd say Rafa's probably the better climber of all of us, but he's a little bit younger than us, I think. But he is on the front, I think, at the moment, pushing on. So you don't want to burn them out. You don't want to blow past them, but I have done, and I want to get through this line faster. So 13th again over this bridge. You can see there's a little group ahead and then two people off our group at the front. So again, just roll to the back and try and sit in and not get dropped. I know it's a downhill now, you can see it's predominantly downhill. Things are going alright. We've got a bunch of about 10 or 11 of us. Everybody seems to be working as best they can, especially on the climbs, or the drags we'll call them rather than climbs. So this is it goes on through the underground bit here. Again, if you sit in, you can rest. So I am resting, and now it starts to drag up again to go back across the river, over the bridge, up this drag. Everybody's dropped the feather, looks like. Now I know I've got a feather left, so I'm just going to sit with them and see where we go. This guy is Markham with the cowboy hat. He was in the race last week and he was round about me because he was always sat near us. So I do remember him. So we're going up here through the red sections. At some point here, I think I do drop my feather because it's all about the points. The higher you cross the line on these sprints, or KOMs as they are, the more points you get. I think everybody's playing the same game. They're all just sort of sitting on each other, waiting for the last bit. You can see 2.5 watts per kilo average. So because people are putting out a big output on the drags, they're coasting around a bit more, like sitting in more on the downhills and the flats. So the average power goes down and then goes up on the hills. So I put a sprint in there, I've dropped my feather, and you can see the little numbers like 12, 13, 14 underneath there. That's how far behind they are, so you can see if somebody's imminently going to pass you, and they're not. So I've gone up through that in 10th place, so the group out in front is the top 10. And then I ease off, let them come past, and I use the aero boost because I am absolutely gassed there, just to try and sit in so I don't get dropped. And I think that's Raf off the front now. He's putting an effort, so if somebody from your own team's pulling away, you don't go after them. You sort of sit behind them and let everybody else do the work. got my heart rate's come right down here because we're going downhill and I've hardly pedalled. You can see by the power graph at the bottom I'm in the grey coming down here, so I've hardly done any work. Again, that guy in the orange and the cowboy hat, he's playing the same game as me basically. He's trying to sit on the back, and I bet he was using me as a bit of a marker for some of the runs. So I think on this one, memory serves me right, it was only last night, but I'm getting old. I think to myself, right, I'm going to rest as much as I can. You can see by the graph at the bottom, I have rested. I'm going to put in a Herculean effort and try and not get away, but at least drag people out who'll be stronger than me, who are actually sitting in on the climbs as well. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this one's the one I do it on. So I've got Andre there, and then I'm just gonna, I think, just go for it. You see I'm in the red all the way now. 4.5 watts per kilo. Just gritting my teeth and looking at the stem and trying to get as much as out of I can. I've actually got 2 seconds on M Harding, who's behind us, so there's a little bit of a gap, and we passed somebody else there. I don't know where he's come from. Maybe he's the top, can't be the top from the top group. So I'm in 10th position at the moment. Now I can see there on the bottom the blue numbers, 17 meters. So another little kick as we go through the start of the sprint marker, 20 meters. So I know nobody's going to get past me. So I'm going to finish this one in 10th as well. Hopefully I've dragged a few out. Same scenario here. I'll just back off. There's the guy in the cowboy hat who's always somewhere near me, and now we are downhill a bit now, so off the power and let everybody else drag us along. It's all about the draft for this bit, and you can see now we're 2.56. I'm 2.56 average, so the sitting in is bringing your average watch down considerably. And you know everybody else is trying to do this as well. The front group's that far ahead, we ain't going to catch them. And that selection was made on one of the, I think the second climb. So now it's down into the underground system again, or whatever it's called, the subway, that's what it is. So it's just a case of sitting in. I'm doing like under 2 watts per kilo all the way, and now we are going up the drag again. I don't know which one I found harder. So again, quite a lot of people have popped the feathers for this steady bit here. I think everybody can climb at about 3.5 watts per kilo for a short amount of time. So it's quite evenly matched, which is basically the whole race series has been quite evenly matched. You're always going to get people who are slightly at the higher end, but that's the whole point of it. You're racing to get better, so you can't like grumble because they're still in our category. The racing score dictates that. I think we've moved up a league as we've moved up a class completely, moved up into the C's from the D's, but we've also moved up a league in the D's. We were C3 last time round and we C2 this time round, so it's been a little bit harder. And again, we're doing all right. I think everybody's got stronger. What I can see is I'm 146 beats per minute, which is top end for me, and I'm feeling it now. The 2 efforts that I've done on the last lap, I'm feeling it. So I think I went through in 10th, didn't I, on the last one. Now I'm 18th at the moment, but I don't know whether I hold this through this archway. See, it's easy to get dropped, and I almost did there. A little bit of a kick in. I think we've got Andre was out in front, or Rafa was out in front, so you don't really want to be working between them and dragging people across, but we're all back together again now. Just getting ready for the I think it's the corkscrew, but I could be wrong, for this last drag up, which is the finish line. I knew myself here that I wasn't going to be having a massive effort up here. I knew I was kind of at the end of me with powers. So here we go. Yeah, we're all some. We've got Rafa at the front and Andreas behind me, just slightly. I think I might let this one play out in normal speed. So Rafi goes for it, and he's dropped his feather. Nobody else is going with him, so I think, well, I might as well try and stay with him because he is strong. And then he's doing 5.1, I'm doing 3, so I should have really sat on him a little bit more there, especially with the feather on. And like I say, I wasn't feeling brilliant, but I was starting thinking, oh, we could get away here and get like 10th and 11th. So I'm starting to try and put as much as I can out. 4.2 watts per kilo there. 6 meters behind, they're catching us, the cats are almost back in. Everybody's waited for this one. So I dropped my aero boost. I think my legs go at that point. 3 watts per kilo with my aero boost. I'm done for. I've gone from feeling fantastic to feeling like I can't even get the pedals turning. One last sprint and then I'm off the pedals again. You could really do with getting some more power down and getting in the draft of the people in front of me. My legs aren't playing ball here. 151 beats per minute, which is me maxed out. I'm now in 17th place, so I've gone from 11th to 17th, and I was trying to beat whoever that is behind me in the blue and pink jersey. There's the guy in the cowboy hat who races every week. He's done me as well, so I am in 18th place, which I have to say probably went a little bit too hard on 2 of the laps and the lead in. Still very enjoyable. Thanks to the lads. It's been a good laugh doing it all. Appreciate that. Like and subscribe.